The Happiness Trap, by Dr. Russ Harris. Introduction. Imagine for a moment that you're walking through a dense, unfamiliar jungle. Suddenly, the ground beneath your feet gives way, and you find yourself sinking into a pool of quicksand. What is your first, most primal instinct? It's to struggle, isn't it? To kick your legs, to flail your arms, to fight with every ounce of your being to pull yourself out. But anyone who knows the secret of quicksand will tell you that this is the worst possible thing you can do. The more you struggle, the faster you sink. The only way to survive is to do the complete opposite of what every instinct screams at you to do. You must stop fighting. You must lie back, spread your arms wide, and float. It's not comfortable, it's not pleasant, but it will save your life. Now, what if I told you that this quicksand is a perfect metaphor for our relationship with difficult feelings? What if the very struggle we engage in to find happiness, our constant fight against anxiety, sadness, and self-doubt, is precisely what keeps us stuck, sinking deeper and deeper into misery? This is the central, startling idea behind a book that has quietly revolutionized modern psychology, The Happiness Trap by Dr. Russ Harris. This isn't just another self-help book filled with positive affirmations and feel-good advice. In fact, it argues that much of that advice is part of the problem. Dr. Harris, a medical doctor turned therapist and mindfulness expert, takes us on a journey into a powerful new approach called acceptance and commitment therapy, or ACT. It's a method built on a radical premise that our relentless pursuit of happiness is, ironically, the primary source of our suffering. By the end of our time together today, you will understand this profound paradox. You'll see the invisible psychological trap that you, and almost everyone you know, has been caught in. But more importantly, you will learn the skills to escape it, not by fighting your feelings, but by fundamentally changing your relationship with them. This is a journey to stop struggling, and finally, start living. Book summary. Let's start with a question that seems almost too simple. What's the last line of nearly every fairy tale you've ever heard? And they lived happily ever after. From the time we are children, we are fed a powerful story. It's in our movies, our books, our culture. The story says that happiness is the default setting for human beings. It's our natural state. And if we're not feeling it, something is wrong with us. Dr. Russ Harris calls this the first and most dangerous myth of the happiness trap. Our culture insists that we should be happy, but the reality tells a very different story. The World Health Organization estimates that depression will soon be the second most debilitating disease worldwide. 1 in 5 people will suffer from it in their lifetime, and 1 in 10 will seriously contemplate suicide. If happiness were normal, these numbers would be impossible. Happiness, Dr. Harris argues, is not a normal state. It is a fleeting emotion, like all others. This leads us to the second myth. If you're not happy, you're defective. Because we believe we should be happy, when we inevitably experience painful thoughts and feelings, we conclude there's something wrong with us. We feel weak, broken, or abnormal. But the book offers a breathtakingly compassionate alternative. Psychological pain isn't a sign of defectiveness. It's a natural product of the way our minds evolved. Think about it. Our minds didn't evolve to make us feel good. They evolved to help us survive. For our ancient ancestors on the savannah, the number one priority wasn't to write poetry or tell jokes. It was don't get killed. Their minds became highly effective threat detection machines, constantly scanning the environment for danger. Is that rustle in the grass a predator? Is that tribe over the hill friendly or hostile? Fast forward 100,000 years, and we have the same hardware running in our skulls. But today, the threats aren't saber-toothed tigers. They're job interviews, public speaking, the fear of rejection, or a worrying thought about our future. Our mind is still doing its job, warning us of potential danger, but in the modern world, this translates into a near-constant stream of worry and anxiety. Survival also depended on belonging to a group. Get kicked out of the clan, and you wouldn't last long. So the mind developed another crucial function: social comparison. Am I fitting in? Am I contributing enough? Am I as good as the others? Today, this ancient programming has us endlessly comparing ourselves to the airbrushed supermodels in magazines or the curated highlight reels of our friends' lives on social media, guaranteeing that we will almost always feel like we're not good enough. So, if our minds are naturally wired for worry and comparison, what does our society tell us to do about it? This brings us to the third and fourth myths. Myth number 3. To create a better life, we must get rid of negative feelings. And myth number 4, we should be able to control what we think and feel. This is the very heart of the happiness trap. We are taught that feelings like anxiety, sadness, and fear are bad, and we must eliminate them. We try to suppress them, argue with them, distract ourselves from them, or cover them up with positive thinking. We are told to just get over it, snap out of it, or look on the bright side. But have you ever tried not to think about something? Let's try a quick experiment. For the next few seconds, whatever you do, do not think about a delicious, cold, creamy ice cream cone. Don't think about its flavor, the way it feels as it melts on your tongue, or how you have to lick the drips running down the side. How did that go? You couldn't help but think about it, right? This simple exercise reveals a profound truth. We have far less control over our inner world, our thoughts and feelings, than we believe. Trying to suppress a thought is like trying to hold a beach ball underwater. It takes enormous effort, and the moment you relax your grip, it bursts back up with even greater force. This is where our solution becomes the problem. When we experience a painful feeling, like anxiety, our first instinct is to get rid of it. We might distract ourselves by eating chocolate, or avoid a social situation altogether. In the short term, it might work. The anxiety subsides, but in the long term, we pay a heavy price. The chocolate leads to guilt, and avoiding social events leads to loneliness, which is the very feeling we were trying to escape. Dr. Harris introduces a powerful concept for this phenomenon: the struggle switch. Imagine at the back of your mind, there's a switch. When this switch is on, it means you are in a state of struggle with your pain. Any uncomfortable feeling that arises is seen as a threat that must be fought. When anxiety appears, you get anxious about your anxiety. When sadness comes, you get depressed about being depressed. This secondary layer of suffering is what Dr. Harris calls dirty discomfort. It's all the extra pain we create for ourselves by struggling against our clean discomfort, the natural, unavoidable pain of life. But what happens when the struggle switch is off? When anxiety shows up, it's still an uncomfortable feeling, but it's not a problem. It's just anxiety, a collection of physical sensations and urges. Without the struggle, the feeling is free to rise, fall, and pass through you naturally, like weather moving through the sky. You're no longer wasting your energy fighting it. This leads to one of the most memorable metaphors in the book: the demons on the boat. Imagine you are the captain of a ship, and your life's journey is to steer this ship toward a distant, beautiful shore that represents a meaningful life. But there's a catch. Below deck, there is a horde of terrifying demons: your fears, your self-doubts, your painful memories, your unwanted urges. As long as you let the ship drift aimlessly at sea, the demons stay quiet below deck. But the moment you turn the wheel and start steering toward the shore, the moment you decide to do something meaningful, like ask someone on a date, start a new career, or speak up for yourself, the demons swarm onto the deck. They roar, they wave their claws, they threaten you. Naturally, you don't like this, so you make a deal with them. If you demons stay below, I'll stop heading for shore. The demons agree, and you go back to drifting. But soon, life feels empty, boring, and meaningless. You see other ships sailing purposefully, and you're just stuck. You could try to fight the demons, to throw them overboard, but there's an infinite number of them, and while you're busy fighting, no one is steering the ship. But here is the secret the demons don't want you to know. They can't actually hurt you. They can threaten you. They can look terrifying, but they have no physical power over you. Their only power comes from your belief in their threats. The only way to reach the shore is to let the demons be on the deck with you, to accept their presence, to allow them to roar and protest, and to keep your hands firmly on the wheel, steering toward what matters to you. This is the core of acceptance and commitment therapy. It's not about winning the war with your inner demons, it's about ending the war. It's about learning to sail with them. So, how do we do that? ACT is built on 6 core principles that work together to help us turn off the struggle switch and learn to navigate with our demons. The first principle is diffusion. This is perhaps the most mind-bending idea in the entire book. Most of us are fused with our thoughts. This means we treat them as literal reality. If the thought "I'm a loser" pops into our head, we react as if we are a loser. Cognitive fusion is when the thought and the thing it refers to become one. Diffusion is the process of separating from our thoughts, of seeing them for what they are, just a string of words and pictures passing through our minds. It's not about changing the thought or getting rid of it, it's about changing its impact. The book offers wonderfully simple yet profound techniques for this. One is to simply add the phrase, "I'm having the thought that," in front of any difficult thought. So, instead of being caught in, "I'm a failure," you step back and observe, "I'm having the thought that I'm a failure." Can you feel the difference? That small linguistic trick creates a space. It allows you to see the thought as an event in your mind, not as an objective truth about who you are. You are not your thought. You are the one who is having the thought. Another playful technique is musical thoughts. Take a harsh, recurring self-judgment like, "I'm so stupid." Now, sing that thought silently in your head to the tune of Happy Birthday or Jingle Bells. It's almost impossible to take the thought seriously when it's being sung by a cartoon character in your mind. You haven't argued with the thought or tried to suppress it. You've simply diffused it, revealing it to be nothing more than a collection of words. The second principle is expansion, which is the ACT equivalent of acceptance. If diffusion is for thoughts, expansion is for feelings and bodily sensations. When a painful emotion like anxiety arises, our natural tendency is to tense up, to contract around it, as if trying to squeeze it out of existence. Expansion is the opposite. It means opening up and making room for the feeling. It involves observing the sensation with curiosity, like a gentle scientist. Where is it in your body? What is its shape, its temperature, its texture? You breathe into and around the sensation, giving it space, allowing it to be there without a fight. You're not trying to get rid of it. You're letting go of the struggle with it. This is how you stare down your demons. You find that once you stop fighting them, they are far less intimidating than they first appeared. The third principle is connection, or what many people call mindfulness. Our thinking self is like a time machine, constantly pulling us into regrets about the past or worries about the future. We spend so much of our lives lost in thought that we miss the only moment we ever truly have, right now. We eat meals without tasting them, have conversations without really listening, and go through our days on autopilot. Connection is about bringing our full attention to the present moment, engaging with our senses. It's noticing the warmth of the sun on your skin, the taste of your morning coffee, the sound of your child's laughter. It's about waking up to your life as it's happening. The book provides simple exercises, like Notice 5 Things, where you simply pause and name 5 things you can see, 5 sounds you can hear, and 5 things you can feel. This simple act anchors you in the here and now. These first 3 principles, diffusion, expansion, and connection, are about transforming our inner world. But they all point to something deeper, the fourth principle, the observing self. Think about this. Your thoughts are constantly changing. Your feelings come and go. Your body is different today than it was 10 years ago. But there is a part of you that has been there through it all. The part that is aware of all these changes. The part of you that notices your thoughts, observes your feelings, and is aware of your body. That is the observing self. Dr. Harris uses a beautiful metaphor. Your thoughts and feelings are like the weather, constantly changing, sometimes stormy, sometimes calm. You are not the weather. You are the sky. The sky contains the weather, allows it to be there, and is never harmed by it, no matter how violent the storm. This perspective is the ultimate source of self-acceptance. Most of us are trapped in a constant battle for self-esteem, like a chess game where we try to line up all our good qualities, the white pieces, to fight off our bad qualities, the black pieces. But the observing self is not the pieces. It's the chessboard itself, providing the space for the entire game to unfold without being part of the battle. You are not the story your mind tells about you. You are the one listening to the story. This realization frees us to focus on the final 2 principles, which are about creating a life worth living. The 5th principle is values. Values are not the same as goals. A goal is a destination you can reach, like getting married or buying a house. A value is a direction, a way you want to live your life, an ongoing process that never ends. Getting married is a goal. Being a loving, caring, and supportive partner is a value. A value is like heading west. No matter how far you travel, you can always go further west. A goal is a landmark you pass along the way. The book guides you through a profound exercise to clarify what truly matters to you in different areas of your life: relationships, career, health, personal growth. What kind of person do you want to be? What do you want to stand for? Your values become your compass, providing direction and motivation. This is powerfully illustrated by the story of Viktor Frankl, a psychiatrist who survived the Nazi concentration camps. Frankl observed that the prisoners who had the best chance of survival were not the strongest or fittest, but those who had a sense of purpose, a deep connection to something they valued, whether it was the love for a child they hoped to see again, or an important work they felt destined to complete. Their values gave them a reason to endure unimaginable suffering. This brings us to the sixth and final principle: committed action. Values are just words until you put them into action. Committed action means taking effective steps guided by your values, even when it's difficult and uncomfortable. It's about doing what matters, even if you're scared, even if your mind is telling you a million reasons why you can't. Commitment isn't about being perfect. It's about getting back on track when you inevitably stumble. It's like learning to walk. You fell down hundreds of times, but you always got back up. Commitment is the willingness to pick yourself up, learn from your stumbles, and keep moving in your chosen direction. And this requires willingness. Willingness is not the same as wanting. You don't want the discomfort that comes with pursuing a meaningful goal, but you are willing to have it in the service of what you value. A cancer patient is willing to endure the awful side effects of chemotherapy, not because they want them, but because they value living. Willingness is saying yes to the whole journey, the easy parts and the hard parts, the joy and the pain. Together, these 6 principles offer a complete escape from the happiness trap. Instead of a life spent chasing pleasant feelings and running from unpleasant ones, you begin to build a life centered on what truly matters to you. You learn to let your thoughts and feelings come and go like weather in the sky, while you keep your hands on the wheel, steering your ship toward the shores of a rich, full, and meaningful life. It's a life where happiness is no longer the goal, but a welcome visitor that comes and goes as you engage fully in the journey. Commentary. As we come to the end of our journey through the happiness trap, what strikes me most is how deeply counterintuitive its central message is, and yet how profoundly true it feels once you let it sink in. We live in a world that sells happiness as a product. We're told if we just buy the right thing, achieve the right status, or think the right thoughts, we will finally arrive at a state of permanent bliss. Dr. Harris's work doesn't just question this idea. It dismantles it with surgical precision. The most powerful lesson, for me, is the radical shift from a goal-focused life to a values-focused one. We are so often like that frustrated child in the back of the car, endlessly asking, "Are we there yet?" We postpone our sense of fulfillment until we achieve the next goal, the promotion, the relationship, the perfect body. And as we all know, once we get there, the goalpost just moves again. Life becomes a never-ending chase. The happiness trap invites us to become the other child in the car, the one who is looking out the window, fascinated by the journey itself. It teaches us that a meaningful life isn't about arriving at a destination where all our problems disappear. It's about the quality of the journey, moment by moment. It's about learning to sail with our demons on deck, not waiting for a day when they magically vanish. The beauty of this approach is its compassion. It doesn't ask you to become a superhero who can conquer fear or banish negativity. It simply asks you to be human. It acknowledges that pain, sadness, and fear are not enemies to be defeated, but inevitable parts of a full and vibrant life. The book gives us permission to stop fighting a war against ourselves, a war that we can never win. If you take just one thing away from our time together today, let it be this: start to notice your own struggle switch. Notice the moments when you begin fighting with your own feelings. In those moments, see if you can practice just a tiny bit of expansion. Don't try to change the feeling, just observe it. Breathe into it. Give it a little space. See what happens when you turn the struggle switch to FF. And when a harsh thought about yourself arises, try diffusing from it. Silently say to yourself, "I'm having the thought that I'm not good enough." Just notice the subtle shift that creates. This isn't about magic tricks. It's about building a new skill, one small step at a time. It's about learning that you are the sky, not the weather. That was a summary of The Happiness Trap by Dr. Russ Harris. We've explored the core ideas today, but a summary is like looking at a map of a beautiful country. The real adventure, the real transformation, happens when you decide to take the journey yourself. The book is filled with stories, exercises, and nuances that can't be captured in a brief overview. If any of these ideas have sparked something in you, if they've made you question the way you've been living, I wholeheartedly encourage you to pick up a copy. Reading it isn't just an intellectual exercise, it's a practical guide that can genuinely change your relationship with yourself and the world around you. You can find a link to the book in the description below. Also, if you found this summary helpful and want to continue exploring life-changing books with me, please consider liking this video and subscribing to Billionaire's Bookshelf. It helps us grow and ensures you won't miss our next deep dive. Let's continue on this journey of learning and growth together.